Hi y'all. Did you know that WordPress powers more than 30% of the entire internet? That's not just small blogs. That's websites and blogs from big companies whose names you know who use WordPress. I've been using it since 2006 and I've seen it come a long way from a simple blogging platform to a really robust content management system that's suitable for a business website. So today we're going to talk about WordPress and how to use images to enhance the content that you post and to help you get found in search engines as well. I'm here in the Gutenberg WordPress interface and we're going to demo some ways to use images. The first thing, if you're using Gutenberg, the first thing you're going to want to do is add a block. So we're going to just click here, the plus, and I'm going to add let's just add a cover. Now I'm going to upload it. Let's use this picture of the red flowers. I kind of like that. Okay, so I need to upload this because it's not already in my media library. Ah, there it is. Okay. So I've uploaded this image to my media library and inserted it in the page. So if I want to add a title, I can just call it Red Flowers. And I can make it whatever size I want. So this is the positioning of it, 50% horizontal, 50% vertical. Now the setting here that will change really what it does the most is this fixed background. And I'll show you what happens when you select fixed background. Now you'll also, you notice the picture has a little overlay. So I can choose the color of this overlay. I can make it white or red, or I could just leave it black, and then I can make it a little less opaque. So there are some things I can do to control what it actually is going to look like. I'm just going to click Save Draft to save it, and we'll go look at it and see what it looks like. And here's our preview page. So as I scroll down, you notice that the background stays the same and the title moves over it. So that's kind of a nice effect. I kind of like it. So that may be a great thing that you might want to use at some point. Now, other things that we can do, we can add a block, and this one is called Compare Image. Image Compare, sorry. So this is, let's just say that I did some Photoshop work on this image, which I did a little bit, nothing fancy, and I wanted to show the before and after. Have you seen those images online that have kind of a slider that you pull back between before and after? So I know that I've uploaded this image already, so I'm going to go to my media library and I'm going to figure out which one of these is. That one is the before, so I'm going to click on that to select it, and then I'm going to select the after image, which will be this one. And as you can see, I've got a place to put my alt text, to give it a title and hopefully not mistype the title. This is the link where the actual image lives, and these are just other things with plugins that I have on my site. So I'm going to select that. So that's my before and after. And as you can see, you've got the slider that will pull back and forth and show you the before and after. So let's go look at that on the actual page. I'm going to save draft. Command S also will save your draft. Now I'm going to go refresh my page. So you can see my two images, And if I come up here and just pull this way, you can see how I brightened it up a little bit in Photoshop. It may not be that, sorry, the Pinterest thing is in the way. It may not be that noticeable, but it's a pretty cool effect, especially if you're trying to show the before and after on something. Now let's say you want a photo gallery. So let's type in gallery, click on it here. I'm going to go to my media library. I'm just going to pick some pictures. These are probably not going to be the right size, but we're just playing anyway, right? And then I'm just going to click create a new gallery. Now I can go in here and type a caption and make it that anything I want, and then insert my gallery. Now I have selected crop images, and that keeps these images the same size so that they align. If I didn't do that, then they would just display whatever at whatever size they are. I can set how many columns I want. I can have 2 or 3, or I could have 4 equal columns here for my gallery. Let's save it. Refresh the page. And here's my gallery. Now you notice these don't really go anywhere. It's just a gallery that's on a grid. Now let's say that I wanted to add, I'm going to add a spacer in here because so it's not all running together. Let's just add a spacer, okay? Now, and over here with the spacer I could set this height in pixels, so if I didn't want it quite that big, I could change that. Now let's do a slideshow. So let's go to the media library and pick a few of our lovely flower pictures and create a new gallery. I've already got captions here, so I'm just going to insert it. Now, over here I can set it to autoplay. So in other words, when it loads onto the page, it'll start playing automatically. And how long I want it to actually delay between seconds in the transitions. Do I want a slide effect, or do I want more of a fading kind of effect for a transition? You can do either one. So I'm going to save my draft, and you can see that my spacer worked as it's supposed to. Since I have it set to autoplay, we've got a pause button in the upper right corner where I could just pause it and then start playing it again, or if I want to advance it manually, I can. So this is how you would make the kind of slideshow that maybe you're thinking about when you think about a gallery, that it would just rotate through. Now, what about just a plain old regular image? Just an image for your blog post. Let's just stick another spacer in here. And let's go to, just start typing. And let's just go to image. And to media library. And then just pick one of these. Now, here are some just basic settings. First of all, I want to align this center. You may or may not, but you might want to crop it. It's better to do all of that before you get it into WordPress. But if you just kind of find yourself in a bind and you really need to crop it, you can do that. You can set it to default style, or you can make it round. If you want to make it a rounded, more of a rounded shape, you can do that, and you can set that as the default style. Always fill in your alt text and make it something that describes what the image is there to do. I would say purple and yellow flowers or something like that. Here you can set the thumbnail, the image size, and you can set it to a thumbnail, a medium, or a full size, or you can just custom enter the height here. Under advanced, you can give it a title attribute, and this is one of those things, this and the alt text are things that help you with your search engine optimization. The title attribute is something that will show up when your reader hovers over the image. So this is what you'll see when you hover over, and a little tiny box will pop up. The alt text is helpful not only for search engine optimization, but it's helpful for visually impaired people who obviously can't see the image, but if they're using a screen reader, it will read them the alt text. So that's what's very important, because you're limiting your user experience for the visually impaired if you don't use your alt tags, and you're limiting your search engine visibility. It's best to have your image already resized to the exact size that you want to display it before you import it into WordPress. And if you have Photoshop, that's really easy to do, because you can do it in Photoshop, and then Photoshop actually has a save to web feature that optimizes it to some extent. But if you don't have Photoshop, there's a really handy site, and it's called tinypng.com, and that's where you'll find it. And all you've got to do is upload your PNG or JPEG files here, and it will compress them and help them load faster on your page. And it's 100% free. As it says, you can do up to 20 images. So this is a really handy thing. I have it bookmarked on my toolbar, so in case I ever need it, I've got it. But I do generally use Photoshop for this. Last thing I want to tell you about is the Smush plugin. Now, what Smush does is it also compresses your image to some extent, and you'll have to kind of test and see for your images how much you can smush and compress and use tinypng and all that before your images get to the point where you think the quality is suffering. But basically what Smush does is it smushes things, it compresses images that you've already put into your media library. So I can bulk smush them from here and just click right here and bulk smush them all, or I can do it from the media library. There's a little link that says Smush. This is the free version. They also have a paid version that's has more compression and more features that if you're really serious about making your site load faster, that's a great idea. But I strongly recommend that you at least use the free version of Smush, and you process all your images just like I need to do here. So I'll do that later, and that's it for today. I hope you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel and read the blog post. There's a link to it in the description below. And I hope you'll follow me on Twitter, which is Beth G. Sanders, and I am on Instagram. I'm Beth G. Sanders Online. So I'll see you online, and have a great week. Thanks for watching.